Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into a really fascinating idea today from a psychologist named Teruo Nakashima,
Okay.
and it's all about this concept of self-usefulness. Have
Interesting.
you heard of this before?
I haven't, no.
So get this. The idea is that by focusing on your positive impact on other people, you can actually boost your own well-being.
Huh. That's a bit paradoxical, isn't it? Seems like we're always being told to prioritize ourselves,
Right.
to focus on our own happiness first.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes this concept so intriguing.
I see.
So Nakashima, he calls this feeling of being valuable to others, jiko-yokan in Japanese,
Okay.
which translates to self-usefulness.
So it's not about like bragging or seeking praise or anything like that. It's more about that internal satisfaction of knowing that you're contributing something positive.
Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't have to be these huge, grand gestures either.
Right.
Even small things can trigger this feeling.
I wonder if he gives any examples.
He does, he does.
Oh,
He talks about how, those simple compliments that people give you sometimes.
yeah.
Like when someone says you're so reliable or you always brighten up the room.
Right.
These little things can actually spark this chain reaction of positive emotions.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this works.
Yeah, and it can boost your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And then lead to even more kindness and gratitude towards others.
Interesting. It's like a positive feedback loop.
Exactly.
You do something good, someone acknowledges it, and then you feel even more motivated to keep spreading those good vibes.
Exactly. But honestly, I'm still a little stuck on this idea that it's counterintuitive.
Right.
Like, we're so often told to focus on ourselves first.
Yeah, put yourself first.
Right. So how does this self-usefulness thing fit into that?
That's where Nakashima's research gets really interesting.
Okay.
He challenges that individualistic approach and reminds us that as humans, we're actually wired for connection.
Okay.
We thrive when we feel needed and appreciated.
That makes sense.
We're at our best when we're contributing to something larger than ourselves.
So instead of just asking what's in it for me,
Right.
we should be asking how can I make a positive impact?
Exactly.
But let's be real, everyone struggles with motivation sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do we actually make this happen,
Well, Nakashima argues that when we tie our efforts to the well-being of others, we tap into a deeper well of motivation.
Okay, I like that.
Think about it. It's much harder to stay motivated when we're only doing something for personal gain, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But when we know our actions are benefiting someone else,
Yeah.
suddenly we find that extra gear.
Hmm.
We push harder, we persevere longer, and we even find joy in tackling those challenging tasks.
Okay, so how do we actually cultivate this self-usefulness superpower?
Well, Nakashima offers some really practical advice.
Okay, I'm all ears.
One of his suggestions is to keep a good qualities notebook.
A good qualities notebook, what is that?
It's pretty much what it sounds like.
Okay.
Each day, you take a few moments to just jot down positive things you notice about people in your life.
Like what kind of things?
Could be a kind gesture, a unique talent they have, a quirky sense of humor,
Got it.
anything that genuinely stands out to you as good.
Okay, so it's not about flattery or anything.
No. It's about actively shifting your focus to the strengths and positive attributes of the people around you.
But isn't it hard to focus on the positive?
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes it feels like people are hardwired to complain or to focus on the negative.
You're right. It's easy to fall into that trap, but the Good Qualities Notebook is all about intentionally countering that negativity bias.
That makes sense.
And here's the thing. When you train your mind to see the good in others,
Yeah.
it actually helps you appreciate the good in your own life.
Huh.
It cultivates gratitude, it strengthens your connections, and ultimately it boosts your own sense of self-worth.
I see.
And Nakashima emphasizes that you should start with people you genuinely enjoy. So think about your close friends, family members, colleagues who bring you joy.
Right.
What makes them special? What do you admire about them?
So it's about choosing people who make this exercise feel joyful,
Yeah,
not like a chore.
exactly. You're celebrating the awesome people in your world.
Right.
And those positive vibes, they'll inevitably spill over into your interactions with them,
I love that.
creating a more positive and supportive environment for everyone.
Okay, so we've got this good qualities notebook going. Where do we go from there?
Now, that's where the idea of community comes in.
Okay.
Nakashima suggests finding a group or activity that resonates with your interests and allows you to contribute your unique skills and talents.
So things that light you up,
Exactly.
where you feel most engaged and energized.
Yeah, could be anything from volunteering at an animal shelter to joining a book club to participating in a local sports league.
It's about finding your tribe,
Yes.
those people who truly understand you
Exactly.
and appreciate your unique way of seeing the world. And stepping outside your usual social circles, that can be so enriching.
It really can.
You might discover hidden talents, forge new connections,
Right.
maybe even stumble upon a cause that you're truly passionate about.
And who knows, you might inspire someone else to unlock their own self-usefulness superpower along the way.
I love that. So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into self-usefulness.
We have.
But there's so much more to explore.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll be back in part 2 to delve even deeper into Nakashima's teachings and uncover even more practical strategies for putting this amazing concept into action.
Sounds great. Can't wait to dig in further.
Welcome back to our deep dive into self-usefulness.
It's great to be back.
It's amazing how powerful this idea is.
It really is.
Just focusing on our positive impact on others can have such profound effects on our own happiness.
It's remarkable, and as we dig deeper into Nakashima's work, you'll
Yeah.
see just how practical and applicable these ideas are to our everyday lives.
So we were talking about Nakashima's suggestion to seek out communities that resonate with our interests.
Right.
Why is this so important for cultivating self-usefulness?
Well, it's about more than just finding people who share your hobbies.
Okay.
It's about finding that sweet spot where you can contribute your unique skills and talents in a way that feels both meaningful and fulfilling.
So for example, if someone loves to bake,
Right.
maybe they could volunteer at a local soup kitchen or bake for a fundraiser.
Exactly. And think about the ripple effect there.
Yeah.
Not only are you using your skills to make a positive impact, but you're also likely to meet other passionate bakers.
Right.
Share ideas, recipes, create a real sense of community.
It's about finding that place where your passions and your desire to contribute intersect.
Precisely. And Nakashima also emphasizes the importance of stepping outside our comfort zones.
Oh, yeah.
He argues that real growth often happens when we challenge ourselves to try new things and connect with people from diverse backgrounds.
I can totally relate to that. Remember that time I decided to join that improv group?
Oh, yeah.
Terrifying at first,
Right?
but it ended up being one of the most rewarding experiences.
There you go. And you never know, maybe you inspired someone in that group to step outside of their comfort zone, too.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
It's amazing how those seemingly small actions can have this ripple effect, creating a more positive and interconnected world.
So we've talked about small acts of kindness, volunteering,
Mm-hmm.
finding our self-usefulness sweet spot in our communities.
Right.
What other gems does Nakashima have for us?
Well, he also talks about the power of gratitude,
Okay.
specifically through an exercise he calls 3 good things.
3 good things. What is that all about?
It's incredibly simple, yet surprisingly powerful.
Oh.
Each day, you take a few minutes to reflect on 3 positive things that happen, no matter how small.
Like what kinds of things?
It could be a delicious cup of coffee, a heartfelt conversation with a friend, a beautiful sunset, anything that brought you a sense of joy or appreciation.
Okay, so instead of dwelling on the negative,
Right.
you're actively training your brain to focus on the good.
Exactly. And the research shows that practicing gratitude regularly can have remarkable effects.
Like what?
It can improve your sleep, boost your immune system, reduce stress and anxiety,
Wow.
even increase your overall happiness levels.
It's like a happiness hack.
It really is, but let's be real. We all have those days where it feels like nothing is going right.
Oh, for sure.
So for those moments when your self-worth takes a dip, what does Nakashima suggest?
Yeah, what do you do then?
He recommends turning to inspiring biographies or philosophical works.
Okay.
Immersing yourself in stories of resilience, achievement, and wisdom can provide a much-needed shift in perspective.
It's like getting a pep talk from some of history's greatest minds.
Exactly. These stories remind us that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves and that everyone faces challenges.
I love it. This has been so eye-opening.
It is fascinating stuff.
But I'm curious, have you found ways to apply these self-usefulness principles in your own life?
You know, I've always been passionate about environmental conservation,
Oh, wow.
but I used to get overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the problem.
I can see how that would happen.
So I remembered Nakashima's advice about finding your sweet spot.
Okay.
And I started small. I started volunteering at a local community garden.
That's great.
And honestly, it's been transformative.
In what way?
It's not just about planting seeds and weeding.
Right.
It's about connecting with people who share my passion,
Yeah.
learning new skills, seeing the tangible impact of my efforts.
I see.
We're growing fresh produce for local food banks,
That's awesome.
educating kids about sustainable gardening practices, creating a real sense of community around environmental stewardship.
You found that perfect intersection of passion, contribution, and connection.
I think so, and it's shown me the power of Nakashima's teachings.
Yeah.
It's not about waiting for some grand opportunity to make a difference.
Right.
It's about finding those small but meaningful ways to contribute every day.
That's such a great takeaway.
I think so too.
You've taken this theoretical concept of self-usefulness and turned it into something so real and tangible and incredibly inspiring.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
But we've got one more part of our deep dive to go.
Oh, right, we're not done yet.
We'll be back in part 3 to explore even more practical strategies for putting self-usefulness into action.
Definitely looking forward to it.
And we'll be sharing concrete actions you can take to unlock your own self-usefulness superpower and create a ripple effect of positivity in the world.
Stay tuned, the best is yet to come.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of self-usefulness with psychologist Toru Nakashima.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has.
Yeah,
We've learned so much about this concept of self-usefulness,
absolutely.
how recognizing our positive impact on others can really unlock happiness and fulfillment.
And now it's time to get practical.
Yeah.
How can we actually put this into practice starting today?
Hit me with those actionable insights. Where do we begin?
Well, Nakashima, he's all about starting small.
Quite.
Grand gestures are wonderful, but even the tiniest acts of kindness can have a ripple effect.
Oh, like what?
Like holding a door open for someone, offering a genuine compliment, just truly listening when someone needs to talk.
Right.
These little things can brighten someone's day and boost your own sense of contribution.
It's like those random acts of kindness things that go viral online.
Exactly.
But this isn't a one-time thing, right?
No, it's about making these actions a part of your everyday life.
Got it. So how do we make that happen?
Here's a tip from Nakashima.
Okay.
Align these actions with your natural strengths and interests.
That makes sense.
So, if you're a whiz in the kitchen,
Yeah.
maybe you surprise a neighbor with a home-baked treat.
Right.
If you're tech-savvy, you help someone who's struggling with their computer.
I see.
The more natural it feels, the more you'll keep doing it.
So it's like finding those little self-usefulness nuggets that fit right into our routines.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes it a lot less daunting.
Right.
So what else does Nakashima recommend?
Volunteering. Dedicating your time to a cause that you care about. Like amplifying your impact.
Yeah.
Whether it's at a local soup kitchen, an animal shelter, a mentoring program.
Right.
Finding that cause that truly speaks to you.
Yeah.
Well, that can be incredibly fulfilling.
And volunteering isn't just about giving back.
No, not at all.
You're also expanding your social circle.
Right.
Maybe learning new skills.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
It really is. It's a fantastic way to connect with people who share your values, build new relationships, get exposed to different perspectives.
So we've got those small acts of kindness. We've got volunteering. What other ways are there to put this into action?
Nakashima encourages us to think about our professional lives, too.
Oh.
He says, ask yourself, how does my work contribute to something bigger than myself?
So even if we don't have that dream job,
Yeah.
we can still find meaning and purpose in what we do.
Exactly. You might be a teacher shaping young minds.
Yeah.
Or a cashier making someone's checkout experience a little brighter. Or a construction worker building homes for families.
Right.
Recognizing how your efforts, no matter what they are, contribute to the well-being of others.
Yeah.
Well, that can bring a whole new level of satisfaction to your work.
It's about shifting our perspective
It is.
and finding that self-usefulness, even in those everyday, sometimes seemingly mundane parts of life.
I think that's a great way to put it.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It has been fascinating.
We've learned so much about self-usefulness.
We have.
From the psychology behind it.
Yes.
To actual ways to incorporate it into our lives.
I hope you're feeling inspired.
Oh, definitely. And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired too.
I think they should be, because they have the power to make a positive difference in the world, no matter how big or small.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive, let's leave our listeners with a final thought, a question inspired by Nakashima's teachings.
Okay, I like it.
What small act of kindness, what contribution will you make today to experience the ripple effect of self-usefulness in your own life?
It's a great question. Go out there and make a difference.
Remember, the more we focus on contributing to the well-being of others,
Yes.
the more we unlock our own potential for happiness and fulfillment.
It's true.
Until next time, Keep exploring and keep making the world a brighter place.
See you next time.